Today we're excited to be on site and talking about Cost Bucket 2. If you watched our previous videos, I have 4 cost buckets, and that's going to be everything before permitting. So that's our pre-construction services and design. And then our cost bucket 2 is going to be lot prep. Third bucket is going to be building the house. And fourth bucket is going to be all the exterior features of the home. But today we're only going to be covering cost bucket 2. Let's get to it. So the first item in cost bucket 2 is actually a lot of office work, and it revolves around utility disconnect. While this part of the project isn't challenging, it can be time consuming. Working with the utility companies is not a walk in the park, and it is absolutely crucial to get started early to ensure that there's no delays when it comes to finally demoing the house. With that said, let's get into some of the utilities that we have to coordinate to be able to get disconnected during this crucial step. First is going to be our sewer disconnect, and we're lucky enough to be able to do infill development, so we're already able to have a tap in place. We just need to find it associated to the overall maps that we're able to get from the city of Phoenix to be able to determine how far away our actual tap is from the nearest manhole. Coordinating with the city of Phoenix is actually key to this process because it actually saves us a ton of time, because we're able to measure exactly where we're looking for this existing tap, so that we can be able to let our demo and dirt company know, so that we can be able to find it appropriately and have it all ready for when we decide to reconnect our new plumbing to the system. So the second utility is going to be our electrical disconnect. Now in the city of Phoenix, most of our electrical is going to be overhead, especially in some of the older neighborhoods. And so here in Arcadia, we're going to go ahead and get that existing tap, which usually comes overhead to the house, removed. As you can see right up here, you can see where our electrical feed was disconnected from the original house and ready for us to reinstall electrical when the time comes. In addition to the electrical lines, we also have communication lines, which are absolutely critical given that we live in a high-tech era. And I think there's a lot of confusion with the amount of lines that are associated within the electrical grid and the low voltage grid here in Phoenix. And we have basically high voltage, which is going to be our main line. Then we have our secondary line for electrical, which we just discussed. And the third and most bulky line that's most unsightly is actually Cox and CenturyLink, and that's how they're able to get us internet to our homes. And although I don't like the overall aesthetic of putting yet a third line overhead, the reality is it's the easiest way and most cost-effective way for them to get us what we need in the high-paced world in which we live. Our fourth main utility that we're going to be talking about is the most important here in the desert, and that's going to be our water disconnect. Now, this is the only utility that we don't shut off during the course of construction. And the reason for that is that we actually need this water for dust control, and also to be able to clean the job site, ensure that our track out is good to go, which we'll get to next. To make this happen, typically we're going to be cutting off the main line just at the edge of the meter and putting a coupling on that allows us to be able to get a fire hose on here so that we can be able to meet the overall water demands that are necessary for us to be able to maintain this lot in good condition throughout the course of construction. Ultimately, this is the first stage of Cost Bucket 2, which is going to be our utility disconnect. And I hope that you found it informative, because regardless of whether you're taking on some of the project management to get your house ready for construction, or whether you're hiring an expert builder and project manager here in the Valley, the reality is that this is the first crucial step that allows you to be able to break ground. Let's head to the next video where you can be able to find out the additional portions of Cost Bucket 2. Have a great day.